And a massive object flying straight toward our sun. The Manhattan-sized object is called 3I Atlas, and during observation, scientists have been seeing it change color and even grow a cometary tail. Their findings have led to some belief that this object may actually be made by another life form.
Something impossible is happening in deep space. A comet that shouldn't even exist has lost its tail, defied physics, and grown mysteriously brighter when it should have become dull. Now, the world's most powerful telescopes are hunting for answers to a question that keeps astronomers awake at night. What really is 3I Atlas? Take a look at this next report to find out.
Avi, I've been listening to every talk that you've been given over the last several months on this particular object. Tell us, you don't believe that this is an asteroid or a comet?
However, yesterday there were images of it that didn't show any cometary tail.
Right.
There is no evidence.
And I wanted to ask you about that. What does that mean if it does not show a cometary tail? And is there a universe in which it could be a comet but still not show a tail?
Yes, it's possible, but we should at least see the mass that it lost, which is a substantial fraction of its initial mass. And we haven't yet been able to verify if that's the case. Of course, the alternative is that there is some engine that is propelling it.
So there was another report that said it shows no signs of non-gravitational acceleration. What does that mean, and what does that tell you?
That was true in the 5 months preceding October. Mm-hmm. So there was no evidence for the trajectory deviating from what we expect based on the gravity of the sun. We can calculate how an object would move. So it didn't deviate from that based on 4,000 data points that were obtained by 227 observatories around the globe. But we will need a defense system to protect us from unwanted visitors in the future if we ever find that one of these interstellar objects is indeed technological.
Now stop the cab, America, right now. Now why this man say they got to build a defense system? They talking about some people coming from outer space they don't even know. They might be coming to help us right now. Look at America. I mean, why they can't be like E.T. just trying to phone home or something? You don't know if they friendly or not. What if they want to be our friends or something? What if they come to feed America since we ain't got no EBT coming? Have y'all thought about that? They might come help us pay some of our bills or something around here. Help us get some of this debt up off of us.
Avi, I wanted to ask you also with Congresswoman Luna, who has been really the champion to look at also the topic of unidentified anomalous phenomenon, UAP, instead of UFOs now. But with the Defense Authorization Act that went in, I believe in 2022, there was an office, ARROW, that was created, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, for whistleblowers in the government that might have information related to UAP and also to government programs, to be an office where they could investigate those claims and to somehow answer the questions of Congress and be a little more transparent than what we're used to. I want to ask you, with your involvement with Congresswoman Luna, with also this topic, do you feel like we are closer to having the environment where these whistleblowers can come forward and testify and shed some light on really what's going on, what these are that really have been popping up so much in the last decade?
Because I haven't been exposed to any information within government that is of great interest regarding things outside the solar system. Frankly, if they do have such information and they keep it classified, that's inappropriate, because their jurisdiction is to deal with national security, not with anything outside the solar system. That's my job description as an astronomer. So my hope is that if they do have something, eventually they'll get to me or scientists like myself. But in the meantime, I'm leading the Galileo project. We have 3 observatories that are operating right.
Come on now, America. We know he capping. Now, I appreciate y'all watching this video. It was made for entertainment purposes only. Now, I got another little segment from a guy that's displaying the revelations in the Bible. And leave a comment below on what you think about the connection to the 3-eye atlas in Revelations. Check this out. Oh, wait.
And then he goes on with the second trumpet. He says, a third of the sea turned into blood. A third of living creatures in the sea died. A third of the ships were destroyed. Not unlike what Moses did. It says in Exodus 7, he struck the water of the Nile, and all the water was changed into blood. And the fish in the Nile died, and the river swelled so bad that the Egyptians could not drink its water. It's interesting because this is something that has happened in the Nile River. It's where there's such a silt of red soil that comes into it. The river literally turns red, and it chokes off all life. The fish literally die. In the case where we find the frogs jumping out of the lake, it's because they can't breathe in this silted water. But there's also a thing called red tide that could be another option that basically does the same thing. It extinguishes, it grows, and it halts the whole transference of oxygen in and out of the water, and the plants, the fish in the sea die from it. And he said this is going to be so widespread that a third of the sea creatures are going to perish. They'll suffocate as well, along with a third of the ships that are destroyed. And we're not told in detail why that is. Well, as I said before, what's different about these particular judgments is not their dynamics, but that the scope of them is so destructive. It's kind of like the plagues upon Egypt, except cubed or multiplied many times over. Revelation chapter 8, beginning in verse 7. It reads as follows, The first angel sounded his trumpet, and there came hail and fire mixed with blood, and it was hurled down upon the earth, and a third of the earth was burned up. A third of the trees were burned up, and all the green grass was burned up. The second angel sounded his trumpet, and something like a huge mountain all ablaze was thrown into the sea. And a third of the sea turned into blood, and a third of the living creatures in the sea died, and a third of the ships were destroyed. And the third angel sounded his trumpet, and a great star blazing like a torch fell from the sky on a third of the rivers and the springs of water. And the name of the water is Wormwood. And a third of the waters were turned bitter, and many people died from the waters that became bitter. And the fourth angel sounded his trumpet, and a third of the sun was struck, a third of the moon, and a third of the stars. So the third of them turned dark. A third of the day was without light, and also a third of the night.